Thank God for the innocence of babes. Annabelle prattled happily as she mopped up ketchup with her fish fingers, unconcerned that it was the exact same dinner she'd had for the last 8 nights in a row. She was talking about Liam, or maybe Jeremy, and how he once pushed her into the gravel at school, but she didn't even cry, and then he said sorry and gave her one of the snails he found, and then they'd... I tried to smile. As I did, I felt the insistent tug of sleep drag at the corners of my eyes. I was used to it now. It was comforting. It was a reminder that I was doing the best I could, pushed to my absolute physical and mental limits, but still fighting for her. Anna clumsily wiped a glob of ketchup from her cheek with the back of her hand. She fell silent for a moment. Then, "When are we going home, Mama?" "Soon, baby girl." I hadn't slept since the motel 3 nights ago, when, desperately exhausted, I'd passed out in the tobacco-stained armchair barricading the door. "When will they stop chasing us?" "Soon, baby girl." I swaddled Anna in a thin, musty sheet I'd found in one of the linen closets. It was all I could find. As I laid her down on the damp sofa, I thanked God that Arkansas didn't get terribly cold in the fall. Anna wrinkled her nose, revealing tiny, white little teeth. "This smells funny." "It's just old, baby," I said. I kissed her forehead and inhaled deeply, relishing the sweet scent of motel shampoo that still lingered on her hair. "Things will get better soon." "I don't want to sleep." "Why not?" Anna turned her large, fearful eyes on the parlor door. "Nothing's going to get you," I soothed, trying to ignore the cloying scent of mildew. "Mama's going to stay up all night." Mama didn't have a choice. For 2 weeks we'd been running. I tried to hide it from her, but it was inevitable that she caught on. She, too, had seen the faces pressed up against the windows. She'd heard them wheedling at her, begging her to open the door, manipulating, whispering to let them in. They had a toy that she was such a good little girl. When they saw me, they grew enraged, their expressionless faces warped into masks of fury, eyes bulging. They would throw their bodies against our walls, doors would splinter and the night would fill with a deep, omnipresent wail. And we would run, and run, and run. From motel to campgrounds to abandoned house. Physical location rarely mattered. They would always appear, keiling, raging, staring faces pressed against our windows, surrounding us. I nervously fingered the cold surface of my revolver. Tonight, Mama would watch for them again, watch for their faces. It took less time than usual. I was sitting on the sofa at Anna's feet, listening to her soft, sticky breaths as she slept. I noticed a streak of coagulated ketchup on her face and moved to the kitchen in search of a cloth that could be considered vaguely clean. It was then when I saw it. Pale skin pressed against the kitchen window pane, the whites of its eyes glimmering in the pitch blackness of the night. Long, slender fingers silently snaking under the frame, working at the lock. I froze. It slowly turned its eyes on me, and its face curled in with rage. I fled to Annabelle. The second I turned, I heard a loud crunch as the window frame splintered against a sudden force. At the same time, that familiar, desperate wailing filled the air. I heard the thuds of bodies being flung against the doors, saw their faces through the windows, the open mouths, the wild, flashing eyes. I seized Anna, pitched her startled form over my shoulder, ignoring her surprised cry. I grabbed the gun. I ran down the basement steps, 3 at a time. I didn't feel my feet making contact with the floor. The house shook with the force of 1,000 bodies pressed against it, caving it in, desperately clawing their way to us. I'd earlier scoped the house out. I had an exit plan, a rotted basement door protected externally by a wild thicket of overgrowth. Immediately encroaching on the backyard were woodlands, tall, wild, dark, and home to prey animals for innumerable millennia. I threw my back to the door, shielding Anna, and burst through it. I felt splinters scratch along my sides and my neck, catching on skin filaments and tissue. Under the furious wailing, piercing the night with lilting howl, I could faintly hear Anna's panicked sobs. "It's okay, baby girl, it's okay," I panted, sprinting to the woods. "I'm not going to let them get you. Hold on to me, Anna, hold on." I wasn't sure if the warm wetness against my neck was my blood or her tears. I heard crunching behind me. They had seen us. They were following us. I hadn't prepared enough. We couldn't escape this time. Behind me, I could still hear the crashing, the deep crunching sounds of powerful bodies, predators, swerving through the woodlands. I could feel their eyes on my back. I could feel their excitement, their rush, the hunger for my baby girl. My foot hit something hard, a stone hidden in the mound of decaying leaves. I fell, dropping Anna as I collapsed to the ground. A sharp pain sung up from my ankle. I twisted myself around, desperate to face them, grasped at my gun. They were close, so incredibly close. I could hear their footsteps all around, rapidly closing in a semicircle. I could see their tall, swaying outlines framed against the black oak trunks. Too many. Far too many for the single bullet in the chamber. Trembling, I stared at my daughter. She looked up at me, dust clinging to her face. A dark smudge of coagulated ketchup streaked across her cheek. I gently turned the barrel toward her. They will never take my baby girl. Mama? I pulled the trigger. One of them lunged at Annabelle as she crumpled into the undergrowth, enveloped her tiny, limp body. The breath is ripped from my lungs and I'm suddenly pinned to the forest floor. They scream in my ear over the wailing sirens, wrench handcuffs over my wrists. They will never take my baby girl from me.